Vishtam Manavi Vishuchiputam Atasupam Rupam Tasarajamuri Purim Maturim Ungustuati Radha Kundamagirivaram Ahoradikam Harvasam Prakto Yasya Pratitakapaya Sri Guru Tam Natosam Gurave Gaurachandaya Radhikaya Tarale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namo Ananda Leelamaya Vigrahaya Hema Bhadivyastave Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Shyam Sundar Shikanda Shikar Smahas Murli Manara Radhikaras Mama Kripanidhe Supircharna King Karin Kuru Tavaivasmi Najivami Tuyabana Tivikaya Devi Tam Namam Charantikam. First of all, I offer my Sastangandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers, thousands of times, at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev. Asmadya Paramarati Tama Guru Pada Padma Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Ashtotara Sapta Sisimat Rupanugacharya Vari Sila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev to Srila Prabhupada and all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. The first time I was invited by my spiritual master to go on a tour, world tour, preaching everywhere. He told me, it was quite a surprise, he said, "You have to make a drama by tomorrow night." And this drama should depict the whole life of Raghunath Das Goswami. So I immediately began to sweat. And from various biographies and from Chaitanya Charitamrita I began to furiously write the script. And then try to select the persons who will play the parts and acquire the costumes and some musicians for the soundtrack and all of these things. Within 48 hours it was ready, just about. He told me, there should be teachings in it. So I decided that in the drama, I'll put in, as the drama is going along, I'll insert each of the 12 verses of Manashiksha, the teachings of Raghunath Das Goswami, to his own mind, about how to make progress in Raganuga Bhakti. So that would be embedded within the flow of the drama. Guru Tattva, Vaishnava Tattva, Gaura Tattva, Nityananda Tattva, and the illustration of his life of complete dedication to the service of the lotus feet of Radhika, even at the expense of Krishna. So we performed the drama, and somehow it went very smoothly. But what really struck me is that my Gurudev was crying. So then he told me, when we came back to India, at the end of Brajmandal Parikrama, on the very last day when all the parikrama is over, there's the finale of the parikrama. He said, I want you to do this again, but better. So then again we did with more costumes, with more stage effects and decorations. And so we did it again. At that time, my Gurudev was there every year on Brajmandal Parikrama. His senior godbrother, Srila Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Maharaj, he was also there. So when we performed this drama, then what surprised me was the first person to cry was Srila Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Maharaj. Actually, many years he stayed in Chinchura, the first math which was established by his guru. And that place is very close to the home of Raghunath Das Goswami, and also very close to Panihati, where Raghunath Das Goswami met with Nityananda Prabhu for the first time. So in the drama, when we played this part of Raghunath Das Goswami going to Panihati, and then Nityananda Prabhu came on the stage. Nityananda Prabhu was Ashram Maharaj. Then Srila Trivikram Maharaj immediately began to cry. And it was very close to the beginning of the drama actually. After the drama, it was the next day it was raining. And I was walking on one side of Rup Sanatan Gaudiya Math, and he was sitting on the other. And you know the middle is open, so the rain's coming through. So he called, "Hey, Prayojan, come here." So I came running across the middle, slipping, almost falling over, and came and fell at his feet. So then he grabbed me and he put both hands on my head. He said, "I bless you that you will get Krishna Prem in this life." And I thought, why? I mean, I'm not complaining, but then he said, "Because of this drama." It was so wonderful. So I'm telling you this why. So we can see how performing dramas is glorification of Krishna, of course, glorification of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but also Guru Seva and Vaishnava Seva. If Gurudev and Vaishnavas are pleased with us, not just because we did some worldly thing, but because their mercy was flowing uncontrollably, because the drama was udipana, the stimulation of their innermost heart's desires. We see, because Srila Trivikram Maharaj's intense attachment to Raghunath Das Goswami, to that place, Panihati, and the festival that was there, the flat rice and yogurt festival, and his attachment to Nityananda Prabhu, only by stimulating that he became mad. We heard this morning how Mahaprabhu was very pleased when he saw Pratyapurja Maharaj sweeping. But when Pratyapurja Maharaj was singing Gopi Geets of Srimad Bhagavatam, then Mahaprabhu said, "Tumi mori dili bahu amalaratan, ami kichu dite nari karyalingan." Who are you? You have given me so many valuable jewels, and I have nothing to give you in return, so I'll just embrace you. And when Mahaprabhu embraced Pratyapurja Maharaj, then so many anubhavs, so many realizations of the bhavs of the Braja Gopis that were in those verses of Srimad Bhagavatam that he'd been singing, they manifested spontaneously in the heart of Prabhu Maharaj. So don't think Mahaprabhu just embraced him. That embrace was infusing him with the realization of the variegated nectar of so many waves of love rising and falling in the hearts of Braja Gopis in each word, in each line of Gopi Gita. So, sometimes a person may think that drama is like something not serious or some entertainment or something. But Gaudiya Vaishnavas never think in this way. As time went on, Srila Gurudev engaged me in more dramas. He said, make the life of Haridas Thakur, and make the life of Narottama Das Thakur, make the life of Rupa Goswami, make the life of Prataparudra Maharaj also. So many different dramas. Mainly, he never told me to make drama of Krishna Lila. Actually. Because he was interested that the drama should be an education for the devotees and that there should be lots of teachings in it. But because in the lives of the Goswamis, when they're doing bhajan, they have spurtis. Then we had the chance when Raghunath Das Goswami was chanting and weeping, Asha Barar Amrita Sindhu Maya Katanchit Kalo Mayatika Gamita Kila Sampratamhi Twanchat Kripamai Vidassari Naiva Kimme Prana Brajena Chaparuruba Karinapi. Oh Radhika, my whole life I have been trying to do bhajan. And all those Vaishnavas who were helping me and supporting me, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, Swarup Damodar Goswami, Gadadhar Pandit, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, now they've all left this world and I'm alone. And still I have not become successful. I have been carrying a heavy burden of hope that one day I'll attain your service, but I have failed. So I am begging you, O Srimati Radhika, please sprinkle one drop of your mercy on my head or on any other of my limbs in the form of the opportunity to serve you. If you don't sprinkle your mercy on me and save my life just now, then what was the use of all my bhajan? What was the use of my residence in Brajamandal? And I dare even say it. Prana Brajena Chaparoru Vakarnapi. Even if you say Krishna will give mercy to you, then I will say, oh Radhika, without your mercy, I don't even want Krishna's mercy. So when Raghunath Das Goswami was praying in this way, then he would experience the spurtis, the visions of Radha Krishna Lila. So in those opportunities in the drama, then the curtains could open behind and then we could present some Radha Krishna Lila in a way that it was in the samadhi of the sadhaks in the drama. So then it's very, very powerful. And then the curtain can close and then there is a bhanga. The spurti is broken. And then the devotee goes into even deeper separation. So, the purpose of the drama is that the audience should identify with the personality in the drama. This is the purpose. We'll come back to that later. I remember once some devotees, they made a drama of the Jagai and the deliverance of Jagai and Madai. So, and it was very funny. But actually this pastime is not funny. The pastime of the deliverance of Jagai and Madai is very serious. And the themes are that of causeless redemption. That those who have no redeeming features at all, who are completely abominable, that the mercy of Nityananda can even reach to them and bring them out of their ignorance and suffering. And they can also be imbued with love of God, and after receiving that transcendental bhakti, then everything should be forgotten. Because now they are pure Vaishnavas. So there are many deep themes of redemption, transformation, the causeless mercy, So actually it's not a slapstick drama. So the devotees who did this drama, they made it quite funny. Everyone was laughing at Jaga and Maya and this and that. So then, at the end everyone applauded and everyone was entertained. But then always Srila Gurudev would give a comment at the end of the drama. He said, "You have murdered this drama." Everyone was shocked. It was such a stern cut through the atmosphere. So the pure Vaishnavas, they are not inclined towards a whimsical titillation and amusements, entertainment. It's a very serious business. It's meant to transform the audience by their identification with it. So then Srila Gurudev said that actually comedy doesn't make a sanskar. If the drama is very humorous, it will not leave a deep samskar in the hearts of the audience. And this is what we want to do. We want to create such samskars that it will change their life. That there's a personality in the drama, some hero in the drama, who goes through so much self-sacrifice and faces so many difficulties and even fails, but then somehow or other in the end he becomes successful. So then all the devotees, they receive the samskar, the impression that we should continue with great persistence despite all difficulties, with a fire of hope burning inside, that in the end everything will become perfect by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. So the Srila Rupa Goswami Pad, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he has explained Aisham Swapara Sambandha Niyama Nirnayo Hi Yaha Sahadaranyam Tadevaktam Bhavanam Purvasuribihi. The explanation is that when an advanced Vaishnava who has attained the stage of rati, he sees the drama, then in the drama all the various rasa samagris, the ingredients of rasa, are present there. The vishay alamban and the ashraya alamban, the object of love and the abode of love, the udipana, the objects that stimulate love, and the characters' anubhavs, their reactions also to that stimulus, and so on. So in this way, the various ingredients of rasa are there, and so when the advanced devotee is watching, then he identifies with one of the characters and all the ingredients come together and he experiences rasa. Now, in ordinary drama, if you're watching the drama, then you can appreciate it to the degree to which you have samskars, impressions, which are similar to the impressions of the character in the drama. So for example, if a child is watching a drama which has more themes which are the experience of adults, then they can't follow it because those impressions haven't been raised yet. So, but and then that person has some experience of what the actor is experiencing, or what the personality who's being played by the actor is experiencing, some idea, but it's based on his own conditioning. But with transcendental rasa, aprakrit rasa, it's different. Aprakrit rasa has achintya shakti, an inconceivable potency. And so, when a pure Vaishnava is watching a drama, maybe Gaura Lila, maybe Krishna Lila, and they're identifying with the personality who is situated in the mood, which is their mood, whose heart is the same, then the actual experience of that devotee, let's say it was a pastime that was performed 5,000 years ago in this world, the actual transcendental experience of that devotee from 5,000 years ago through the medium of the drama will manifest in the heart of the one who's watching. This is the inconceivable achintya shakti of bhakti rasa. Yesterday we mentioned some of the occasions where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, they were relishing dramas together. Sometimes they would actually enact them out, and sometimes they would just hear the script. But because they're so advanced, when they're just hearing the script, then for them it's causing this project, they're actually seeing it. But one thing my Gurudev said once after the performance of one of the dramas, he said, this was not a drama, but actually Radha and Krishna and the Goswamis of Vrindavan actually appeared here before everyone's eyes. So, those who are participating in a drama, they should be aware of that. That just as Krishna appears in the form of the deity, which is apparently made of stone, so Krishna and his associates can appear in the forms of the actors, which are apparently made of whatever, carbon, pizza, whatever else you take for prasadam. Yeah. So, of course, the bodies of devotees are transcendental. Those who have surrendered at the time of Diksha, their bodies are transcendental. So it's very easy for Krishna to manifest through them to the audience. So, drama is a part of kavya, poetry. So we want to speak first about the substance of the drama. The individual parts of the drama are kavya. Kavya means poetry. Our Srila Rupa Goswami Pad, Raghunath Das Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, all of them, when they were at school, in their youth, they had to study the Kavya Darshan, Kavya Shastra, the scriptures describing the nature of poetry. So we want to look at this, look at some of the verses and the ideas that they were studying in their youth, that gradually they utilized in Krishna's service. So, one of the oldest treatises on poetry is called Dhvanyalok by Anandavardhan. So without a doubt, all of our Goswamis and Mahaprabhu have studied this. So there, in the beginning, there's a wonderful verse glorifying the position of the Kavi, the poet. He said, Apare kavya sangsare, kavir ek prajapati, yatasmai rochate vishvam tatedam parivartate. It says that there is another universe. This universe is created by Lord Brahma. But apare kavya sangsare, the universe of the poet, is different. Why? Because in the universe which is created by the poet, Kavireka Prajapati, the Kavi, the poet himself, is Prajapati, Lord Brahma. Prajapati means Lord Brahma. Notice the poet is the Brahma of his own universe. Yatasmai rochate vishvam tatedam parivartate. And how all the things go on in that universe, that's just according to his taste. The way he likes, the universe goes on in that way. So, perhaps you know, at Rath Yatra, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, before Lord Jagannath, was singing a verse, Yaha Kaumara Harasai Vanastai Vachaichakshapas. So this verse, it's found in Sahitya Darpan, and before that it's found in Kavya Prakash, and before that it was in another book called Shangadhara Shangadara Padati. Shangadara Padati. Verse 3678. Not joking. So it's in Shangadara Padati. And so it's a very famous verse, but it's also found in Kavya Prakash. So Mahaprabhu in his youth he studied Kavya Prakash. That's written by Acharya Mamata, named Mamata Bhatta. So he was commentating on this verse of Dhvanyalok, Apare sa Kavya Samsari, that the poet is another Lord Brahma in his own universe. So he commented on that, but he wanted to extend it further, because that's the nature of poets. They always like to elaborate and outdo the previous poets also. So there, he explained, no. The Kavi, the poet, is superior to Brahma. He's not just the Brahma of his own universe, but he's superior to Lord Brahma in 4 ways. Niyati krita niyama rahitam, ladai kamayim ananya paratantram, navarasa ruchiram nirmitam, arati bharati kavera jayati. He's saying, all glories to the poetry of the poet, which is niyati krita niyama rahitam. So first point, why the poet is superior even to Lord Brahma. Niyati krita niyama. Niyati means that when Brahma creates, then in this world there's a fixed sambandha, a fixed relationship between vastu, the substances, and their dharma. For example, a lotus flower smells very, very fragrant. It's very soft, it's very beautiful. But in the poetry of the poet, he can describe a woman and say her breath was like the fragrance of a lotus flower. Right? So you can go anywhere, you can do an experiment and see. You will not find a woman whose breath is like a lotus flower. But for the poet who is writing about a person who's in love, then everything becomes. The hero, he was as strong as Hanuman. No one's as strong as Hanuman. Hanuman can swallow the sun. Okay, let's see it. Can you do it? So in this way, the poets, they can break the laws of the relationship between substances and their dharma. So it's called Niyati Krita Niyama Rahita. In their world, there's no fixed relationship between substances and their dharma. They can superimpose anything on anyone. This is why the gopis say, Tava katam ritam tapta jivanam kavividitam kamasapam. Oh Krishna, your katha, your words that you speak, and the katha about you is being glorified. That it's like nectar, that it takes away all suffering from life. But who glorified it? Kavibiriditam, the poets. So poets always make stuff up. So we can never accept, because we have personal experience in our life, that when we listen to your words, now we're suffering like anything. And we were happy before when we were staying in our homes and serving our families, but because we listen to you, now we've lost everything, and even you have abandoned us. So Kavibiri, don't believe what the poets say. So another aspect of Niyati Krita Niyama, the rules and regulations of reality, is called Adrishta. Adrishta, it means unseen. So in the theory of Karma Kanda, your actions generate adrishta, some unseen force that unfolds and becomes your destiny in the future. So that is karma bandhana, the bondage of karma. But in the writing of a poet, even a human being, if he wants, he can make the human being go to heaven, visit heaven, look around, meet the apsaras, meet with Indra and so on, and then come back. But that would have been outside of the adrishta for ordinary person. The poet can write in such a way that the hero is surrounded by deadly dangers on all sides, and everyone knows now he'll die, but suddenly, miraculously, he escapes. So that can happen in the world of the poet, but in real life, he would just get killed. So, this is the first way in which the Kavi is more capable than Brahma. Then, the next quality, Ladai Kamayim, that the world of the poet is full of bliss. Completely full of bliss. Whereas the world of Lord Brahma, there's some happiness and there's actually a lot of, there's more distress than happiness, quite a lot more. So, the poets have written that the purpose of poetry is to become famous. If you write a poem and everyone knows it, then you become famous. To become wealthy, to become respected, all of these things, and to experience happiness. Why? Because in mundane poetry, then the relishment of poetry is sattvic. So rajasic happiness, when you feel something, just contact of the objects with their senses, it always results in a gross suffering. But the poets, they're relishing their own universe or the universe of another poet, where they just feel blissful ananda. But this ananda is not transcendental ananda for the ordinary poets, but it's the joy that comes from sattva gun. Krishna said, be careful of that. Jnana sangena bhatnati sukha sangena chanaga. Krishna said, hey Arjun, those who are in the mode of goodness become bound by a sense of wisdom. They think they're more learned than others, which they may be relatively, but even the knowledge of sattva gun is also mine. And sukha sangena chanaga. And because they feel a type of happiness, that means their chitta is expanding. Sadness is just the sankuchita chaitana, that your chitta has become contracted and then you don't feel good. So by studying poetry, hearing poetry, becoming absorbed in the world of the poets, the chitta expands and the poet feels joy. And they think that they experience rasa. But our acharyas say that rasa is, that mundane rasa is speculation. It's their kalpana, imagination. There's no such thing really as mundane rasa. The reality is aprakrita, supernatural rasa. And that is only tasted and realized by the pure devotees. So, the mundane poets have given the list of all the benefits of being a poet. You get fame, you get fortune, you become honored, you feel happiness. But our Acharya said no. The purpose of the poetry is avesh, to become completely absorbed in Krishna. And this is why Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, Rupa Goswami, they've written literally hundreds of poems. And each verse just gives a little picture of a moment in their life, or a moment in the pastimes of Mahaprabhu, or a moment in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. But hidden behind the just general meaning of the words, there are many, many other meanings. And it's the search for those meanings that brings about your avesh, absorption. So we'll be discussing that, how the devotee becomes absorbed in the deeper and deeper meanings, bringing about absorption. So, Ladai Kamayim means the world of the poet is full of happiness. So, especially for devotees, that's true. Why? Because if you see a drama which is filled with the pain of separation, for example, the example is given by Srila Vishwanath Thakur in his commentary on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Once a man was watching the drama of Lord Ramachandra, and they came to the point in the drama when Lord Ram was banished to the forest and he left home, and then when his father found out, he cried, Ha Ram, Ha Ram, Ha, and he gave up his life. So there was one old man in the audience, and he was watching this drama, and he was identifying so much with Dasarat Maharaj and his attachment to Lord Ramachandra that he also just gave up his life there and then in the audience. So that is his feeling, transcendental ecstasy, and entered into the Leela. Another example is given that when Hanuman came to the shore of the ocean, he was going to Lanka, and he said, Jai Shri Ram, and he jumped over the ocean. So then one person in the audience was watching, and he was so absorbed in Hanuman's enthusiasm for serving Lord Ram that without even thinking, he suddenly jumped up in the audience, Jai Shri Ram! And then he realized, oh, where am I? What it was. He didn't do it consciously, it was not part of his volition, it just happened. He went, sit down. So we see that the audience, they become so absorbed. They experience the rasa of the players. And even if the drama is very, very sad, then still the next day they go back and they watch it again. That's the proof that it's not actual sadness. Because if it was really sadness, then that's it, I'm never going to go to another drama of Lord Ram again. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Akrura comes to Vrindavan and takes away Krishna. Everyone is devastated. But we read it again and again. Why? Because the transcendental suffering is actually transcendental ananda, transcendental joy. So then, the next quality is paratantram. Paratantram means independent. The world of the poet is paratantra. It has complete independence. When Brahma creates the universe, he is limited in terms of what he can do, because there is a chain of cause and effect between the elements of Prakriti. So first there's the Mahatattva, and then Ahankar, ego, and then mind, intelligence, the senses, and then the gross sense objects, sound, and then space, and air, fire, water, and earth, like that. So the elements, they're connected in this way. So, but the creation of the kavi, of the poet, is paratantra. It is not adheen. It's not under the control of any regulations. The only limitation of the world of the poet is his pratibha. That means his creative genius. So then, the next difference, navarasa ruchiram. In the world of Lord Brahma, there are 6 tastes. Sweet, sour, salty, bitter, astringent, and pungent. So there are 6 rasas. But in the world of the poet, then there are 12 rasas. Shanta, Dasa, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, Hasyat, Bhuta, Virya, Karuna, Rodra, Bivatsa, and Vainaka. So you all know the 5 primary rasas and secondary rasas, so we'll not explain in detail. But in this way, again, the world of the poet is superior to the ordinary world, and the poet is superior to Lord Brahma. So, in order to understand what is kavya, what is poetry, Srila Kavikanapur has composed a verse. Shariram shabdato dvanir asava atma kila raso guna madhurya gyadya upamiti mukha lankriti gana susamstanam riti sakela parama kavya purusho idasmin dosa chat sravana katudhari sampara. Perhaps you know that in Vedic architecture there is the Purush, the predominating deity of the subject of architecture. That's called the Vastu Purush. Right? When you do yagyas, there's the Yagya Purush, the personification of the yagya. And also, the knowledge is also conceived of as a young bride. This is why in Shikshastakam, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Vidya Vadhu Jivanam. That the Harinam Sankirtan gives life to Vidya Vadhu, the young bride. So you can see Srila Rupa Goswami gives a very elaborate explanation of Vidya Vadhu, how knowledge herself is a young bride in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. But here our subject is the Kavya Purush. The Kavya Purush. Poetry personified. So Srila Karnapur is saying, Shariram Shabdato Dvanira Sava Atma Kilaraso. It means that the body of Kavya Purush is made of Shabda Artha. That is the words and their meanings. Then, the Dvani Asava. Upamiti Mukho Alankriti Gana. A body can be decorated with ornaments. So just as a person wears earrings, necklace, bracelets, ankle bells, waist bells and so on, so the Kavya Purush is also decorated with the Kavya Alankar. That means literary embellishments. So there are so many different types of literary embellishments. We can give an example here. This is a very beautiful verse from the Alankar Kostuba, illustrating Alankars. Can everyone read it? You can repeat after me. Nava Jaladhara Dhama Koti Kama Vatara.
Nava Jaladhara Dhama Koti Kama Vatara.
Pranaya Rasa Yashora Sri Yashoda Kishora.
Pranaya Rasa Yashora Sri Yashoda Kishora.
Aruna Daruna Diro Panga Bangya Kurangi.
Aruna Daruna Diro Panga Bangya Kurangi.
Iva Nikala Krishangi Rangini Tom Koyasi.
Iva Nikala Krishangi Rangini Tom Koyasi.
Nava Jaladhara. Nava means new or fresh. And a Jaladhara, that means that which holds water, is a cloud. So Nava Jaladhara means the fresh cloud. And Dham means, Dham can mean abode, it can mean influence, it can mean effulgence, has many meanings. So here it means the effulgence, the duty. So there's a person who's Nava Jaladhara Dhama, effulgent like a fresh rain cloud. And he's also Koti Kama Avatara. That means he's the incarnation of 10 million cupids. So in this world, everyone is disturbed by lust, they become attracted to each other. It's very difficult for anyone to overcome the influence of Cupid. And that's just one Cupid, who's dealing with everyone at the same time. Right? So we cannot imagine how beautiful this young man is, that he is Koti Kama Avatara. He's like the incarnation of 10 million Cupids. Give or take a Cupid. In poetry, it's not like mathematics. So Koti literally means 10 million, but it's just signifying just so many that you can't count. Right? So, and he is Pranaya Rasa Yashora. Yashora means he gives fame to the Pranay Rasa, the mellows of love, wherein the lover and the beloved, they feel such confidence in each other that they feel as if my body and your body are one, my senses and your senses are one, my mind and your mind, my heart and your heart are one. That is Pranay Rasa. And he makes that Pranay Rasa famous. So is Pranay Rasa Yashora. Now someone may ask, who are you talking about? Then the answer comes, Sri Yashoda Kishora. Or the young adolescent son of Mother Yashoda, Krishna himself. And what is he like? Arunadaruna Dirga. Arunad means stopped, blocked, trapped. Cannot escape. Aruna. And Aruna means reddish. Dirga Apanga means, Apanga is glancing. His glancing eyes, which are dirga, very long. So dirga netra pankajam. And they're reddish in the corners. So that's the Aruna Dirga Bhanga. And the Bhangya means the posture, just like your body can have a posture, so your eyes can also have a posture. That means they're very expressive. So here it means this son of Yashoda has very expressive eyes. And Kurangi means deer. Eva Nikila Krishangi. Eva means like, Nikila means all. And Krishangi, Krish means very slender. So the gopis of Vrindavan, they have very slender waist. So the gopis of Vrindavan are called Krishangi. So here she's saying, one gopi is saying to her friend, that this Krishna has such charming, attractive eyes, that his eyes are like a net, and that net has captured all the young, beautiful, slender-waisted gopis of Vrindavan who are now stuck and cannot escape from the control of his glance. So, even Nikla Krishna Rangini, one Saki is addressing her friend. It's evening time, and one gopi is walking, and she meets her friend, and her friend is speaking this, and she says, "Hey Rangini." Rangini means colorful person. A person is considered colorful if they are unpredictable, if they're adventurous, if they have some skills and talents that you don't know and then suddenly you realize. If they are not afraid, they want to discover new things, they're very curious. So such a woman is called Rangini, very colorful. So one friend is addressing the other, "Oh Rangini, Tvam Kwayasi, where are you going? Tvam Kayasi, where are you going?" So, the meaning of the verse is, this is a kavya, this is a poem. So let's see how this embodies the Kavya Purush. In the Kavya Purush, the body of the Kavya Purush is made of the words and their meanings. So the words and meanings we've just discussed. So we've just become acquainted with the body of the Kavya Purush. But then, the Kavya Purush is decorated with ornaments. So you'll see that this is full of ornaments. So there are many different ornaments in Kavya, like the Anuprash Alankar. That means alliteration, the repetition of sounds. So you have Daradhama and Kotikama, Dardha, Kaka. In the third line you have Rash, Ra, is repeated, and Sha is repeated. Rasa, Ya, Sho, Ra, Sri, Ya, Shoda, Kishora. So there's a Russia for all the Russians. So this is the Anuprash Alankar, the repetition of syllables to make the sound beautiful. So there are other Alankars in this, like Yamak Alankar. Yamak Alankar means a rhyme. So you have this rhyming. Arunad. It's Aruna and Arunad and Aruna, and then Dirga. So it becomes Arunad, like that. So there's a repetition, rhyming words. There's also what is called Puna Uktavad Abbas. Puna Uktavad Abbas means the semblance of a repetition. He's not repeating Yashoda, it says Yashoda and Yashoda. So it seems like he's repeating, but it's only the Abbas of a repetition. So that's called Puna Uktavad Abhas. It's another type of Alankar in poetry. And then, of course, you have Upama Alankar. Upama Alankar means a simile, when one thing is compared to another. So here you have Kurangi Eva Nikila Krishangi, that all the gopis of Vrindavan are like deer. So this is a simile. But though it's not said that Krishna, his glance is like a net, but it's just said that these deer have been caught in the glance of Krishna, so that's called Rupa Alankar. That's not a that's a metaphor. So Upama Alankar is a comparison, a simile, where it's directly stated Eva, it's just like this, and then the metaphor is implied that if Krishna's eyes are catching them, then They must be like a net. So that's called Rupak Alankar. So you can see here that the Kavya Purush, whose body is made of words and meanings, is now beautifully decorated with all these alankars. But you know, Mandanam Lokaranjanam. If a person is decorated with alankars, but they're dead, they have no pran, they're not alive, then that's a waste of time. So the body of the Kavya Purush should be alive. It should have a pran. Now we come to the very interesting element of the Kavya. What is the pran of the Kavya Purush? That is called the Dwani. Dwani means Vyanga or suggestion. Vyanga, Dwani, suggestion. So the reason it's called the suggestion is called Dwani. Dwani means the reverberation of sound. Just like, you know, at the end of a kirtan, what do? Jai Shishi Guru Garam Gandhavati Girai Shishi Arjuna Bihari Sila Gurudev Ki Jai, From Gurudev Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. So that's called Prema Dhvani at the end of the kirtan. Prema Dhvani. It means that after the kirtan, when the power of Nam Sankirtan struck, and then afterwards when the kirtan ends, but then the waves of love keep going. Prema Dhvani. Jai, glories to Gurudev, glories to Mahaprabhu, glories to Vrindavan. So nice. So Dwani literally means if you have a bell and you take a hammer and you strike the bell, bong. So then there's the initial strike, the striking sound of the hammer, but then the bell goes wah, 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 several times before the sound dies down. So that those waves of vibration that come after the initial strike, that's called Dwani. Dwani. So in the context of poetry, what it means is when you hear the poem, that's just the sound. But now after you've finished hearing that poetry, but then waves and waves of meanings are coming, one after another. So Dwani is said to begin when the Shabda Vyapar ends. Shabda Vyapar means the business of the sound. So the business of the sound of the word ends. And then... So if you consider the commentaries of our acharyas on Srimad Bhagavatam, that's essentially the Dwani. Because everyone can read the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. But what they felt after they were struck by that verse, the waves of that Dwani is now manifest in the form of their commentaries. Understand? So, poetry is considered to be Kanishtam, Madhyam and Uttam. Inferior, moderate, mediocre or excellent, depending on the strength of the Dwani. So if the Dwani is strong, then it's called Uttam Kavya. If the Dwani is okay, then it's called the Madhyam Kavya. And if there's no Dwani at all, you just read it and it doesn't have any extra implications, then the Kavya, the poetry is called Nishpanda, lifeless, because it's not breathing. So that's the inferior poetry. But there's such a poetry called Uttam Kavya. This is an example of that. Uttam Kavya means that when the sound ends, then the Dwani hits you. But then when the Dwani hits you, it has the Antara Dwani. It has another Dwani hidden inside it. And that Dwani may have another Antara Dwani. So then you get Dwani, Anu Dwani, Anu Dwani, like this, waves and waves and waves. So that poetry is called Uttam Kavya. Super excellent poetry. So a good example is the poetry of our Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami. And I quoted his poetry earlier this morning, so I want to quote again. Another. He said, Kushonita Sarobari Kamalahi Lola Mangala in a kunj in Vrindavan. They're awakened by the sound of cuckoos and peacocks and parrots singing here and there. And it's a bittersweet moment because they know that just now we'll have to quickly return to our homes before the people begin to move around in the town and they realize that we've been missing for the whole night. But at the same time, the pranay that they feel, the oneness they feel with each other is so intense, it's very difficult to part. So at that time, they may again embrace each other and engage in beautiful loving pastimes. But Param Gurudev is not describing that. He decides to describe Kushumita Sarovare Kamala Hilola. That just next to the kunj, there's a beautiful lake. And it's full of lotus flowers. And the breeze is blowing. And the lotus flowers are trembling. And there's a very beautiful fragrance also carried on the breeze. So, this is the kavya. This is the kavya. But what is the dhwani? The dhwani, the implication, if a devotee is rasik, who is rasik? Who has intense sanskars related to Vaishnav kavya? Develops what is called the bij. Kavi Karnapur said that everyone cannot taste poetry. Many people just read it and say, I read that. Let's read something else now. And they don't feel anything. Why? Because they don't have the bij, the seed. And this seed is the collection of intense samskars from associating with and hearing Vaishnav Kavya from Rasik devotees. So if a person has those impressions, that seed, then when they hear the poetry, the waves of dhwani will wash over them. And they can taste it, they can experience it. But even they may not be able to compose poetry themselves. Only one who has very deep, intense Garda Sanskars, intense impressions, will be able to relish and also compose and manifest poetry. And that's why in the Vedic culture the poets were so honored, because you don't become a kavi in one lifetime. You can't learn this in one lifetime. So Rupa Goswami, he said, Praktan aduniki chasti yasya sad bhakti vasanaha. That only those who have the impressions in this life and the next life become qualified to taste rasa. And then perhaps in the life after that they may become qualified also to compose the rasic poetry as well. So Param Gurudev is, through he's given the Shabdartha, the words and the meanings. It's decorated very beautifully. And with the rhyming, it's rhyming Yamakalankar. But the dhwani is that the Radharani has Yavadashray Guriti. It means that her Mahabhav is so powerful that it spreads out, her emotions spread out from her and begin to pervade everything in the area. So, this breeze that's blowing, this is actually the dhwani indicating that Radharani is deeply sighing. That the lotus flowers are trembling is by dhwani indicating that Radhika is trembling in ecstasy in the embrace of Krishna. And Vrindavan is trembling in sympathy with her due to the spreading out of her, the power of her Mahabhav. And there's a beautiful fragrance on the breeze. That fragrance is the mixture of the fragrance of the Sri Vigraha, the bodies of Radha and Krishna. So Param Gurudev, being a wonderful poet, he's not openly telling anything. So that first dhwani of the beauty of Radha Krishna's pastimes, it hits the devotee. But then inside that there is the antara, there is an anudhwani, following another wave will come. That if the lotus flowers who are jad, because in the spiritual world everything is sentient, but from the perspective of the lila of the persons, they'll think of lotus flowers are jad. Right? If the lotus flowers who are jad are trembling in ecstasy in the morning meeting of Radha and Krishna, Then what to speak of Param Gurudev himself in the form of Vinod Manjari, who is peeping through the lattice window of the Kunj, the Jalarandra, then what is Vinod Manjari experiencing? So Kim Uta, that Vinod Manjari cannot express. So she has manifested this poetry just talking about flowers and waves on the lake. So this is the example of Uttam Kapya, where there's Dwani and Anudwani, and many. All the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam are like this. They have many Dwanis. So, here, what is the Dwani in this verse? The Dwani in this verse is that one gopi is meeting her friend and sees her walking on the outskirts of the town and tells her, Tvam Kayasi, where are you going? So the Vachata, the meaning of the words is, where are you going? But the Lakshata means, the indicated meaning is, don't go out into the forest at night. Why? Because some senior persons are around, and if they overhear her saying you should go to the forest, then it will be, they'll both get in trouble. So one gopi hiding it from the superiors around is saying to the other one, where are you going? But that means, where are you going? That means, don't go anywhere. But we know that this Laksharta is not actually the real meaning. The real meaning is the Dwanyata, the meaning of the Dwani. The implication is, you should definitely go. You should definitely go to the forest right now. What are you thinking about? Why? How do we know that? Because the line Navajaladhara Dhamma Kotikama Avatara is pralobana. Pralobana means allurement. An allurement. Just like if you want to control someone, you can show them, oh, would you like a rasagula? You show them and you attract them, you make them become greedy. So even though at the end she said, where are you going? At the beginning she said, there's a young man whose effulgence is so beautiful, like a fresh rain cloud. He's more attractive than 10 million cupids. Where are you going? So it doesn't mean where are you going is the Vachata, don't go is the Lakshata, the associated meaning, but the Dwanyata, the implication here is that you have to go there. Why? Because all the other gopis except for you have been caught in the net of his glance. So now it's your turn. So this verse is very beautiful. There's Dwani in it, there's Anudwani in it. And now a body has a form. So the body of the Kavya Purush is Shabda and Artha, words and their meanings. It has Alankars, it's decorated with ornaments. It has Pran, that's the Dwani. But there's one last thing missing. There should be an Atma. Right? Because if there's no Atma, then the person is definitely dead. So the Atma of the Kavya Purush, Vakyam Rasatmakam Kavyam. Kavya means those statements whose Atma, whose soul is Rasa. So there should be Rasa as well. So there's very great Rasa here. Obviously, the Vishay Alamban of the Rasa is Krishna. The Ashray Alamban are the two gopis, both of them. They're discussing the Uddipanas in the form of all the qualities and the beauty of Krishna, and indicating his pastimes, how on previous occasions, obviously we can say that the gopi who was speaking by Dwani, she's admitting that she's got caught in that net, and she's trying to get her, misery loves company, she's trying to get her friend also caught in the net of Krishna's glance. So you have two Ashray Alambans here of Madhurya Rasa, and it's not only Madhurya Rasa, it's Parakiya. Because she has to speak in such a way that those who are hearing won't understand what she's saying. And therefore, the Atma of the Kavya Purush is Rasa, and everything is present there, so this Uttam approach. So, it's 12 o'clock. I'm just starting. What to do? So according to the Kavya Shastra, according to Bharat Muni, there are two types of Kavya. that is called Drishya and Sravya. So Drishya means audio-visual, and Sravya just means heard. So if someone's just written down a poem like this is just one standalone verse. So that would be Sravya Kavya, that which is to be heard. But there is Drishya Kavya. It's not only meant to be heard, but it should be seen as well. So that's divided into two parts called Nrita. In that, the poetry is sung and musicians play, and an actor just does a mime. Mimes out, so there is Nrita. Mimes out, expresses by dancing the meaning of the poetry which has been expressed in music. So it said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was absorbed in kirtan, he was like that. He used to become absorbed and mime out the roles of the poetry. And then the other type of Drishya Kavya is called Natya, and that is drama. So now we know what is the drama, Drishya Kavya. So that can have music, poetry, many different actors, and the actors will not only mime, but they'll speak and play all the roles. So, it is said, Kavyeshu natakam ramyam, that of all the different types of poetry, natakam is the most beautiful. So in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, there it is said, Tane brahmaridya adi kavaye bhuyanti yatsuraya. In the beginning of the creation, the Supreme Lord inspired the Vedas into the heart of Adi Kavi, the original poet, Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma is a poet, you know. He sang Brahma Samhita. Chintamani pakarasatma shukalpa vriksha lakshavriteshu surivira. It's nice poetry, beautiful. But another hidden meaning, a dhwani of this first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, Tane brahma hridaya adi kavaye, that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inspired a Rasa Brahma in the heart of Adi Kavi, the poet of Adi Ras, Madhu Ras, Sringar Ras, Parakya Ras of Rupa Goswami. So because Srila Rupa Goswami is Adi Kavi, the original poet of the Adi Rasa, therefore his poetry cannot just be the Sravya Kavya, but he is manifested Natya, that it should be fully manifested with color and costumes and music and all the actors. And so in this regard, Rupa Goswami composed Dan Kali Komedi, Vedic Madhava and the Lit Madhava. And each one of them has specific purposes to give us specific experience. Now, he composed it in a very, very astonishing way, because Bharat Muni and other poets, they have given all the different ingredients that should be present in a drama, and in what way they should be combined together to develop the plot, the stages of the development of the plot, the stages of the development of the psychology of the primary hero and the secondary heroes as well. And then how these combine together to make the different acts as well. So Rupa Goswami himself took that theory of drama, and then he fully illustrated it, but with transcendental drama of the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. How did he do it? He wrote another book called Natak Chandrika, exactly describing how he did that. And so, I have to finish soon, but in our next class and the next class, we'll be going through Srila Rupa Goswami's Natak Chandrika and showing he's telling all the Vaishnavas, if you want to know how I wrote Vedic Madhav and Lalit Madhav, here's my secret, this is how I did it. Of course, he was inspired by Gopishwar Mahadev. Gopishwar Mahadev told him, you have to write a drama about Radha Krishna Lila. So it was mercy. But he did it in such a way that all the intelligentsia, the educated persons who know about drama, will see that the art form, Kavya, finds its supreme manifestation in the description of Radha Krishna's Lila. So, the writing of Bharat Muni is quite important, and our acharyas have taken so much from him. In fact, in Lalit Madhav, Rupa Goswami said that Purnamasi Devi composed the drama about Radha Krishna Lila, and she gave the script to Narad Muni, and then Narad Muni went to Gandharvalok. because you need some good actors, singers and dancers, right? So Narad Muni went to Gandharvalok and he recruited a troupe of players and he trained them in this drama, and then he brought them to Dwarka, and then they were performing this drama to give Krishna solace from, because it was about Vrindavan Leela, solace from his separation from Vrindavan. So Rupa Goswami there, he writes that before Purnamasi composed her drama, she first offered prayers and bowed down to Bharat Muni. And then she wrote it. So I'm just giving you some idea about Bharat Muni. But we can't say that Bharat Muni is right about everything. You know, even Krishna speaks about Bharat Muni. He said that, what is that? Dohara jai samurasa Bharat Muni mani amara brajera rasa seho nahi mani. Krishna said, Bharat Muni has said, when lover and beloved meet, at that time they both enjoy equally. But I think Bharat Muni doesn't know about my braja. Because when I meet with Radharani enjoys thousands of times more than me. So the theory of Bharat Muni goes so far, but it fails when it comes to explaining about the Braja Rasa. And therefore, Tene Brahma Adi Kavaye Bhuyanti Yatsura. For Braja Rasa, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to inspire Rupa Goswami to reveal its true nature. So we have to finish there because we have to stick with the program. Srila Rupa Goswami Pada Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande. Are there any questions?
Can we say that so that means that a drama performed, the effect is similar like a mantra?
Can you say that a drama is similar to a mantra? Well, that's very interesting. There's a very elaborate discussion in Kavi Kanapur's Alankar Kaustuba, where he said the cause of Dwani is sport. Dwani is actually a sporty. And when we speak about mantra also, in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 12th canto, there, Sutta Goswami is explaining the origin of all the Vedas, and he describes how the Vedas have come from the syllable Om. All the mantras have come from the syllable Om due to sport. The sport, there's an inherent power in the mantras, and when someone takes shelter of the mantra, the deity of the mantra, then it causes sport. So the anubhuti, the realization of a mantra, and also the realization of the meaning of a poem, a transcendental poem or a drama, they're both relished in the same way on the basis of the sport. So there's a very elaborate discussion of that in the early chapters of Kavi Kanpur's Alankar Kaustuba. So in that way they are similar, in that respect. Any other question? No? Yes.
I just have the question. You spoke there, this Laksharte, the Dvanyartha, what was the first?
Vatsyarta. Vatya means that which is spoken. So Vatsyarta means the meaning of the words as they are spoken. Laksharta is what the person is indicating. And then the Dvanyat is the Dwani. What is actually the deep implication of what they really mean to confer upon the other person. Because the young gopi, she'll understand it because she's Rasik. But the mother-in-law is not so Rasik, so she'll not understand that meaning. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandharva Girirhari Shishi Arjuna Dhari Juki Jai Nitil Pristom Mishpare Stursmad Rupam Tarivar Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitilila Pristom Mishpare Stursmad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitilila Pristom Mishpare Stursmad Bhaktivedanta Kishka Swami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Shila Bhakti Stansa Thakur Jagar Guru Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai Mahabhagavapavashi Gokshodas Swami Maharaj Ki Jai Saptum Goswami Sajjan Thakur Bhakti Nod Ki Jai Sri Upanuga Gauri Gurvat Ki Jai Jai Sri Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Gopal Bhatta Rasuna Sat Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Prem Se Go Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Sri Bhajamandala Kittamanu Gaur Mandala Ki Jai Tibhuvan Mangankari Sri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Sri Sri Radhagovani Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Ananta Kori Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Samagana Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Maresrasa Shri Vrishabhanu Nandini Srimati Radharani Ki Jai Jai Gaur Premanande Vrindaye Tulasi Pradhyay Priyaye Kesava Sacha Krishna Bhakti Parinay Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Puritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo